Union High School District for Monday, May 8th, 2023. 2023, that was. Oops. Better. Thank you. Thanks for the reminder. Ladies and gentlemen, I invite you please to stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So the first order of business is to call the roll. I see 4 out of 5 board members here and both student board members here. Sanjay Dave is absent, so there will be only 4 voting members tonight. Okay, moving ahead. May I have approval of our agenda?
I move that we approve the agenda as written.
Moved by Catherine, seconded by Theda, that we approve the agenda as presented. Student board members, Sadie.
I approve.
Thank you, Sadie. Ava.
I approve.
Thank you, Ava. Board members, all in favor indicate by raising your hand or saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 4-0. 1 absent. Sunday. Okay, next item is to report out the action taken in closed session. There was no closed session, hence no action. And we up to recognitions and resolutions, and we have an MVLA spotlight tonight. Ellie, I turn it over to you.
All right, thank you, Dr. Felice. Every month, Mountain View Los Altos School District recognizes a community member or someone in our extended community who has gone above and beyond and who has made a lasting impact on everything that we do. This month, we would like to recognize Laura Norris, and I'm going to say a few things about Laura, if I may. Laura began organizing Pause, Spartans Pause, when her daughter Sarah, who's now in college, started at Mountain View High School around 6 to 8 years ago. Since then, she has expanded the program from a once per quarter de-stress before finals event to a monthly event that reaches almost every student on campus. From coordinating morning snack tables to lunchtime activities to partnering with outside organizations, Laura keeps the spirit of wellness, mental health awareness, and general joy alive by encouraging students to create meaningful activities for the student body. Pause parent volunteers have collaborated with the ambassadors, and we'll hear more about them in a little bit, classes for the past 4 years, coming into class to brainstorm, plan details, and set up the events. Laura also photographs the events and makes videos. As a personal wellness coach, she brings in valuable ideas on how students can stay grounded and less stressed. And without Laura, the Mountain View High campus would not have such a caring, compassionate vibe and culture. She has trained many parents to help out, so Pause will continue even after she is no longer active on our campus. So with this, as Laura has her last senior graduating, we would like to recognize and celebrate Laura with our Spotlight, MVLA Spotlight Award. Laura.
That was beautiful. Thank you, Dr. Meyer, and thank you, board, for this really special honor. I am proud to have helped lead the Spartans Pause program for about 7 years. Yeah, the goals of Spartan Pause are simple. They are to empower youth to be advocates for their health, eliminate the stigma of seeking help, offer a community that cares and supports, increase connections on campus, and provide wellness tips and tools and self-care activities to those for them now and throughout their lives. We accomplish these goals by supporting student wellness and providing a variety of self-care activities, like Dr. Meyer said, to all students on a monthly basis, creating a positive and welcoming environment on campus so students feel valued, respected, and known. On Pause Day, students are greeted, like Dr. Meyer said, by ambassadors, with morning snacks, and self-care activities are offered at lunch. We also have flyers out on Pause Days that contain the QR codes linking to MVLA's mental health referral form, so students can request extra support if they need it. And over the years, we've provided a number of engaging activities like to pause and de-stress, like making self-care kits, cookie decorating, writing on a gratitude wall, stress ball making, participating in a ukulele circle, rock painting, learning about aromatherapy, interacting with farm animals and therapy dogs, relaxing with chair massage, and engaging in grounding and breathing exercises, to name a few. And I was just really delighted to see last month the peer-to-peer support. During our last Pause, ambassadors were teaching other students simple wellness techniques and coping skills. And during Pause, we also have musical performances from MVHS student ensembles and individual students. Pause has evolved, like Dr. Meyer said, from parent-led to student-driven. And when it began, Pause was mainly planned and hosted by parent volunteers. And then Pause collaborated with students from ASB and their advisors, and now it's organized and executed by our amazing student ambassadors with support from parent volunteers and funding from our generous PTSA. And I've enjoyed collaborating with the students to put together each event each month, and it's a treat to see them grow as leaders, which makes me very optimistic for our future. And I'd like to acknowledge the past PTSA board members, Sarah Hennes, Fiona Walter, Karen Bowers, Carol Ueda, who launched the initial concept of Pause years ago. And at that time, the PTSA just wanted to use some extra funds to create a new and hopefully enduring program surrounding student wellness. And I am so grateful that they did. I've benefited in so many ways, and such as collaborating with others and creating new and innovative ways to engage students surrounding wellness, developing leaders, and especially working with dedicated parents who also value the importance of student wellness. So many parents have made a significant impact on our school. Cami Lowe and A.J. Schustock, who's here today, in particular, have helped transform the program. So as I step down as Pause coordinator, I am very grateful for my time at MVHS, and I'm excited to see how Pause will evolve and continue to create connections, support student wellness, and help youth thrive. So thank you again for the Spotlight Award, and I truly appreciate it. Thank you.
We have something for you. If you have some folks who came here with you, if you would ask them to come up.
Oh, my family? We're gonna wait for this. Is it family coming up or?
Family.
Oh, okay. Family, Adrian. Come on, Adrian. Yay, and my.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right.
A well-deserved award. That's a great impact you've had, Laura.
Okay, Phil, do we get to say anything?
You do, go right ahead.
I want to say that it's just amazing. A little spark turned into a huge flame, and we institutionalized a change that is to the benefit of all of our students and the whole MVHS community. And I love it when we institutionalize change, and I love it that it feeds into our bigger push in wellness and mental health as the years go on. And it was absolutely critical for us to have this ongoing too during the real crisis of the pandemic. So yay, Rob, and congratulations, and we'll miss you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, now we have several resolutions, the first of which is
Blue.
Okay, I just wanted to say, thank you so much, Laura and Cami. I've spoken to both of them about the Spartan Paws program, in particular about the Spartan Paws, PAWSE, where they bring therapy dogs. And I wanted to extend again as an individual Canine Companions, where I get my service dogs, also has a therapy dog program. So they're release dogs from Canine Companions who are then trained to become therapy dogs. So if you want Canine Companion therapy dogs to come, feel free to reach out to me and I can put you in touch with the folks who have Canine Companions therapy dogs. But it sounds like you have an amazing program with lots of different activities, and keep up the good work. Thank you so much.
Okay, anyone else? Okay, thank you. Okay, now we have several resolutions, the first of which is recognition of Teacher Appreciation Day. I think this is actually Teacher Appreciation Week too.
It is, it
So that's
is,
even better.
it is.
And I will turn it over to you again.
All right, thank you so much. Whenever I think about Teacher Appreciation Week or Teacher Appreciation Day, I like to note that really this is something that we need to think about every day. And to that end, we do want to point out and celebrate the importance of our teachers, especially our teachers within MVLA. So we have a resolution to share and then also a recognition to give. So to start out with the resolution, this is recognition of the teachers, resolution 23-2439. Whereas California Education Code section 37222 sets aside the second Wednesday in May as the Day of the Teacher and encourages exercises directing attention to teachers and the teaching profession, and designates the first week in May as Teacher Appreciation Week. The Mountain View Los Altos High School District Board of Trustees has the utmost respect and admiration for the teachers who have dedicated their lives and their talents to the education of our students. And whereas the Board of Trustees acknowledges and endorses this year's theme for the Day of the Teacher Celebration, which is California Educators, Planting Seeds, Inspiring Students and Future Educators. And whereas the Board of Trustees recognizes the truly vital role of teachers in realizing its vision for all of our students. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Mountain View Los Altos Board of Trustees extends its sincere appreciation to the teaching staff of our district for their contributions and to those who make our schools successful. And they join the State Board of Education and all citizens in recognizing May 10th, 2023 as Teacher Appreciation Day and the week of May 8th as Teacher Appreciation Week.
Great, thank you very much. Do I have a motion to adopt the resolution?
I move that we adopt resolution 23/24-39, recognition of teachers, as read by Dr. Meyer.
Good, thank you, Catherine.
Second.
Esma seconding, so Catherine moving and Esma seconding. Student board members, Ava? Thank you. Sadie?
I agree.
Thank you. Board members, any discussion? All in
Well,
favor?
I do have one comment, is since our business is education, we would not be doing it without the teachers. So they are the main focus of what we do around here.
Thank
So
you.
definitely need to recognize them.
I would like to recognize two teachers in my life in high school who have passed away, Mrs. Ballard and Mrs. Norton, who told me that I could be a writer at a time when I didn't think I could write myself. And I've finished a draft of my first book. So thank you to those early teachers who saw that potential in me.
Okay, any other comments? Okay, our student board members have already indicated approval. Board members indicate whether you support. All in favor? Aye, motion carries 4-0 with one absent. Nellie, you have something to add?
I do, thank you. I would like to use this opportunity where we recognize all of our teachers also to share that we would like to recognize someone who our staff selected as the teacher of the year. And so my phone's buzzing. So to start out, I have to say we have so many teachers in California, and this recognition is symbolic of all of the teachers who work so hard every day in their classroom. But certainly the characteristics that are evident with this particular nomination proved to be outstanding, not just within Mountain View Los Altos High School District, but within the county and within the state. And so we were very fortunate, and we are very fortunate to have such exemplary teachers. And I would like to use this opportunity to recognize Lauren Camarillo, who is the and friends, who was the 2023 State Teacher of the Year, one of 5 equals who were selected for that top honor by State Superintendent Tony Thurman. And I just have a few things from my letter I wrote about her I want to share. Lauren is a recognized expert in teaching and creating a positive school climate with deep knowledge of her subjects and with many different experiences. With her strong background, she continues to learn and maintains humility. It is no wonder students and adults are drawn to her classroom. Entering her room, you find a community of learners, and student leaders, and a feeling of trust, care, and compassion. Her students' lives are changed with her guidance and focus on equity as her leadership impacts the entire school climate. Lauren has been recognized as the Mountain View Los Altos Teacher of the Year recipient for 2023, but she's also received the YMCA Project Cornerstone Award and the Santa Clara County School Board's Hoffman Award. Through her efforts, students are valued, loved, and respected. And while I don't know if she has room for any more awards, we have a few that we would like to give to her as symbols of our appreciation and recognition. So I'm going to ask Lauren, if you don't mind coming up, and you can certainly bring whomever you would like. The shorter, the better. Yes, exactly. So I'm going to just scoot over. I'll finish one over to you over here. Future high school. Okay. Future Spartan or Eagle. So in recognition for Teacher of the Year, we have this token of our appreciation that you can look back on and remember it. There you go. And a few other things. We're gonna hand it over. We have some acknowledgements that came from, this one came from Assembly Member Becker's office, and this is in recognition for you as a Teacher of the Year. And so that's pretty awesome. And last but not least, this is from the Board of Supervisors, and this is from our local supervisor, Jeff Samidian, and he extends his congratulations and appreciation for all of the work that you do from his office. So with this, I think we'll have to be back. Okay, and now we have. Yeah, maybe I'll bring it over to you. Yeah, probably.
I promised my daughter that she could say a couple words on the mic, so.
Oh.
You remember what you were gonna say? Maybe, yeah. You can stay here. Stay here. I think, yeah, probably at the end. It's really, really nice to be here and so good to see you. I'm on maternity leave right now, so it's wonderful to see some of my students and see Lauren Norris get honored as well. It was so great to see you. It's very special to be here, and I'm a little bit in shock and awe of this whole California Teacher of the Year award, because it's hard for me to take the credit for something that is so community built and community driven. And thinking about my own students and their futures, I reflect back on my own story and path to becoming a teacher. And I knew I wanted to be a teacher when I was 14, when I was fortunate to be a peer tutor at the high school that I went to. And ever since then, and also instilled in me by my parents, I take it as my responsibility to uplift and serve students, communities. That's my goal, and that's what I want to do for the rest of my life. So to be able to be in a district and at a school that has the people around me. You want to go spare me, Papa?
It's ready to talk.
To be in a school district and in a school community that gives me and my students space to uplift and serve each other is the best gift that I could have as an educator. I feel so lucky. I student taught here actually in 2010, remember that, a while ago, and was fortunate to come back to the district. And I just feel so lucky every day having the colleagues that I do to collaborate with. And to have this program that has grown and grown, the ambassadors program, the students who are so wholeheartedly committed to helping others in their community. 2 of them are in the room right now, and to be a part of my students' educational journeys. I also just want to appreciate and shout out Dr. Meyer, who is an incredible listener, not just a leader who has, I'm sure, 100 things to do on her to-do list. She takes the time to come in. She takes the time to come to my classroom to bring up challenging topics with my students, to really hear them out and to bring that change to the district. And that is so amazing to be heard and to see change happen. And also I wanted to appreciate Lauren Norris, but she's no longer here, but Lauren Norris and all the PTSA and Spartans Paws parents have been incredible collaborators that have allowed MV Cares and Spartans Paws to really flourish, and ambassadors as well. So I'm so grateful to them. And lastly, because Lucy's here, I'm so proud of her. I just want to, she is like the definition of why I'm a teacher. It's gonna make me cry, because Lucy was a shy freshman who didn't quite believe in herself, and now she's a senior heading off to UCSB. This year she's in ambassadors. Every year I've told her, one day you're going to be the leader making other people feel confident, and that's exactly what she's doing. She welcomed new students who are from out of the country and ate lunch with them every day. She really exemplifies everything that is good in this district, and I'm so proud of her and all of my students, but she happens to be sitting right there. And thank you so much for this recognition. It's really special. I'm so fortunate to be in this district. You ready, Maya?
Thank you, Lauren. Oh,
Well,
let's hear
thank
from
you.
Maya.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Board members, do you have comments? Okay, I'll just say we're very lucky to have you.
Did you have a comment?
I had a comment. I found your speech to be very touching and inspiring, and I could just see from your speech the kind of teacher that you are. I want to be in your classroom.
I would just like to say too, knowing Miss Carrillo and working with her doing freshman orientation for 2 years, she's been so unbelievably supportive and there for me, even though I wasn't an ambassador. She treated me like an ambassador and really welcomed me into the culture. And you know, not having her on campus, we can feel it. Like, we miss you, everyone misses you. So yeah, we're just very appreciative of you as students as well. So thank you for everything you do.
Okay, as I said, we're very lucky to have her. All right, let's move on to the next item, which is recognizing classified school employees week.
Yes, thank you. We're very fortunate to have extremely strong teachers within MVLA, and we also have a very strong classified support team and staff. And sometimes they're called the backbone of the district, but they really actually are more than that. They're probably the veins. Kind of strange reference, but I was trying to think of what they would be, because really they permeate everything that we do, and without them, we would not be able to run in the way that we do. So to that end, I'm going to read the resolution for Classified Employees Week. Whereas classified school employees provide valuable service to the schools and students of the Mountain View Los Altos High School District, and whereas classified school employees contribute to the establishment and promotion of a positive instructional environment, and whereas classified school employees serve a vital role in providing for the welfare and safety of Mountain View Los Altos High School District students, and whereas the Board of Trustees acknowledges and endorses this year's theme for Classified School Employees Week, which is classified professionals, indispensable, inspiring, and invincible. And whereas classified school employees employed by the Mountain View Los Altos High School District strive for excellence in all areas relative to the educational community. May it therefore be resolved that the Mountain View Los Altos High School District recognizes and wishes to honor the contribution of the classified school employees to quality education in the state of California and in MVLA, and declares the week of May 21st to the 27th, 2023 as Classified School Employee Week in the Mountain View Los Altos High School District.
Great, thank you, Dr.
I move that we adopt the resolution 23/24-40 recognition of our classified employees and their week.
Moved by Catherine, seconded by Theda, that we adopt the resolution as read. Student board members, Sadie,
I approve.
Ava,
I approve.
thank you. Board members, any comments? Okay. All in favor, please indicate by raising your hand. All in favor, okay, great. Motion carries 4-0, 1 absent. And our last resolution is Jewish American Heritage Month, which happens to be the month of May.
It is, and thank you very much. I would like to bring before you a resolution recognizing and honoring May as Jewish American Heritage Month. And it goes as follows. Whereas Jewish Americans have played a significant role in contributing to our nation, our communities, and our schools in the fields of arts, business, education, entertainment, finance, government law, medicine, military service, philanthropy, politics, and science. And whereas Jewish Americans often face discrimination and adversity, yet for hundreds of years, they have fought heroically in battle, pursued peace, and always persevered. And whereas this month, we not only celebrate their heritage and express our appreciation for those contributions, but reaffirm our commitment to combating racism and discrimination against Jewish Americans and all Americans. Therefore, be it resolved that the Mountain View Los Altos High School District Board of Trustees recognizes the month of May as Jewish American Heritage Month and encourages staff, students, and community members to remember, celebrate, and educate about Jewish Americans and the importance of their role in communities across our nation.
Thank you.
I'm going to do this again. I move that we adopt resolution 22/23-54, resolution in recognition of Jewish American Heritage Month.
Thank you, Catherine. Seconded by Esmond. Ava, how do you?
I approve.
Thank you. Sadie,
I approve.
thank you. Board members, any discussion? All in favor, indicate by raising your hand. Motion carries 4-0 with 1 absent. Okay, we are up to item 10, board member reports. So does any board member have a report?
I would just like to say that several of us board members went, and Dr. Meyer went to the state of the city of Los Altos It turns out both cities have these events in the spring that have the city manager and the mayor and all sorts of other dignitaries talk about the state of California as well as the state of their city and what's been going on. And it informs our decisions too, as a school board, to know what is going on in the rest of the community and to collaborate with our fellow elected officials and others.
Thank you, Kathy.
Nita and Esme were both there too.
Good.
I would also like to add, not to leave out our other city, that I also attended the Mountain View State of the Cities as well. So I have attended all 3 cities, so no one need feel left out.
I would also like to point out that, did we already say this last month, but that our adored former trustee Fiona Walter was presented with the Athena Award by the Chamber of Commerce of Mountain View last week also. And that is a very prestigious award for all her work she's done for 8 years at Mountain View Wisman School District, and then another 8 years on our board, MVLA, as well as her ongoing involvement in School Boards Association and legislative issues and other. So hooray for her.
Good. Okay, any further comments? Okay, no more reports. I do have one that so today we all got in fact, I think the whole district got an email from Jill Denny. And this email I thought was just terrific. And I want to read the last paragraph for publication and inclusion in this meeting. So Jill closes, the choir that Jill leads went to New Zealand and Fiji. And she wants to answer this question: why do we travel internationally? And she writes, while the majority of music tours in the choir community around the state travel to participate in a competition or to perform in an iconic venue, our focus is quite different. Our goal is to raise globally aware citizens. We immerse ourselves in the language, history, and music of another place all year, and then go there, not to say, look at us and what we can do, but instead to say, thank you so much for the opportunity to come here and learn from you. We look for the things we have in common. We seek out the very best parts of their cultures, so we can bring those back and embrace them as a part of our own. We learn that we are one small part of a greater whole. The process of striving for excellence as a choir all year for the purpose of learning about others helps us arrive in the international location with an open mindset. The process of raising each other up to make something beautiful together helps us share a caring attitude with those we meet on tour. My hope is that the students take this way of thinking forward with them. Every voice counts. We must take action to accept and appreciate those who look and behave and bleed differently than we do, but at the core are the same. And I think that beautifully expresses MVLA values. So I just wanted to get that in there. Student board member reports. I've lost track of who went last. So let's start with Sadie.
Thank you so much. AP testing is on the front of everybody's mind right now. This is our last week of AP testing. And then directly following this, you're going to have SEL as well as students are really, really appreciative of the SEL exhibit and the event that they hold. And we are especially excited for the Jasper farm animals coming during lunch and the quad on the 16th. ANC is preparing for the annual dodgeball tournament with over 50 teams signed up right now. Having big people, that's over 300 students that are getting involved. In addition to ANC and other people who are helping support you. So we're really excited about that. And we're working to make a team poster for every team. And the tournament will be in 2 weeks in the gym from May 22nd to 26th. Student recognition is this Wednesday in the large stand. This is a long-standing tradition at Los Angeles High School, where students are recognized with all grade levels for their hard work this school year. 5 weeks left in the year, we are wrapping up athletics to senior night. and we wish our team going on the CPS playoffs luck in their upcoming game. Our Blue Crew Club is running theme night and providing publicity for the students. The end of year choir performance will be May 25th in the large gym, and our Broken Box Senior Showcase is on May 29th. Lots of fun activities are coming this way for our seniors next week. This Saturday, the 13th, is our senior prom. Senior finals are June 1st and 2nd. Senior checkout is on the 5th. Senior picnic is on the 7th. Graduation is on June 8th, and then grad night follows right after that.
Great, thank you, Sadie. Any questions for Sadie? Okay, Ava, please.
They just made me sad. Thank you for all the meeting. Oh my gosh. Mountain has also been very busy. Safety testing. We also have a lot of extracurricular things going on. To name one, our Science Olympiad plays second at the Northern California State Science Olympiad Tournament. So huge congrats to them. Our Life Skills program at Mountain View this past week hosted 3 speakers at an event called MVLA. During tutorial, and I attended along with all the tons of lead ambassadors as well, and tons of our students and staff, and it was truly an inspirational and beautiful event to witness. Our principal student advisory board is also now collecting applications, and I'm really excited to see how this interactive and exciting development stands out at MVHS. Our dance section showcase was this past weekend as well. And it's a huge hit. I went there and it was beautiful. All the performances were phenomenal. So thank you to the dancers and Cato and production crew. A lot of students at Mountain View have mentioned how nicely the construction is progressing. Seeing the new building, everyone's like, wow, like it's really developing, it's really happening. And it looks great. So everyone is very excited for that. Also, as mentioned, this week is Teacher Appreciation Week. And one thing that Mountain View is doing is ASB has cut out little note cards to distribute to every class. So every class has at least one period of students writing thank you notes to the teachers who are teaching that class, just to appreciate and acknowledge our teachers for all that they do. And then looking forward, Mountain View also has their prom for juniors and seniors this weekend. And we're hoping for good weather, but yeah, we're looking forward to all of that.
Okay, thank you, Ava. Any questions for Ava? All right, we'll move along then. So I believe next we have our student of the year from Freestyle Academy and Leo Florendo to present. Hello, Leo.
Hi. Lucy, get up. Oh, look, we're batching.
I could see him.
We're here to present the Freestyle Student of the Year, really the last 2 years, not for the month, for the year. This is Lucy. Mr. Greco couldn't be here. He has a little toddler he has to take care of. He's on baby duty tonight. But Mr. Cho's going to say a few words, and I'll say a few words, and then we'll hand Lucy over.
Thank you.
So we have Lucy is my animation student. She's always like. Yeah. Okay. Hello. Good evening, everybody. Lucy is my excellent student. She not only did like all the excellent work on her animation projects, she also brought like a lot of great energy to the class. She always like helping the other students with a big smile. And I often noticed that students ask Lucy, actually they call me, and she's like always helping them like with great passion in animation. And currently also she's working in the special effects animation for her very final freestyle project, which is like, it's a really heavy subject for high school student. I worry like a lot actually, but like just like any other animation project, she's doing excellent on her special effects animation project. So she deserves the Student of the Year 23. I think 100%. Okay, thank you. Yeah.
So for me in digital media, Lucy, when you first came in and introduced yourself, even though you had a mask on like you do now, I could tell you were smiling, and your personality came off so well and so welcoming to me and so genuine for the past 2 years. And I really, really, really appreciate that. Of course, she does great work. She's very talented. She does excellent work beyond what's expected. Everybody made in her junior year, everybody made these flat 2D projects, and she made a dodecahedron. Like, okay, let's do that. So she goes above and beyond, and it's really quite amazing. And I actually encourage you to come to our exhibition on May 25th to actually see her work, because I could wave my hands and talk about it, but unless you actually see it, it's quite amazing. So both animation and digital media work. She has this little multi-layered wood thing about a cat. It's very unique. It's very interesting. Nobody's ever made anything like that. So it's very, very, very unique. And one thing about Lucy, if I had to pick a group of former students that I needed to create a project, she would be on the top of the list. I would hire her right now if I was part of a design company. I would. So she has the talent, she has the, she knows what to do and how to do it and how to communicate very well. So we are very, 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 very proud to have Lucy as our student of the year. This is Lucy.
Well, thank you to both my teachers for the kind words. I did not write a speech, but as it is Teacher Appreciation Week, I want to thank all my freestyle teachers because I think like the program has guided my growth a lot over these 2 years. And when Mr. Flo said that all of you should come to exhibition on May 25th, right, to see not only my works, but everyone's works are really amazing. And I'm really honored to receive this, sort of title, I guess, but also please know that like everyone is really unique and we all have benefited a lot from this program and will continue growing. And so thank you so much for hearing me.
You're not.
That's okay.
Lucy, you don't get off that easy. So I just want to say, that's a tremendous compliment that you've been paid from all these people. And the teacher of the year singled you out. So that's sharing the spotlight at a very high level. I just want to say that I read your recommendation here from all three teachers. And I noticed that there was a link at the bottom. So I clicked on the link and it went to your website.
Oh.
And there I read a very inspiring quote that I think we should all take to heart. Creativity is intelligence having fun. And you really seem to have fun in school. That is what we hope every student feels. So I hope and I suspect your attitude was contagious and that many people at Freestyle and elsewhere caught it. Thank you for that as well. Now, other board members, I'll give you a chance.
Lucy, I got to also peruse your website yesterday and just incredible work. And that quote also spoke to me. So I'm glad you highlighted it. And I'm curious, where are you looking to apply sort of all your skills? Like where would be your dream job? Or internship while you're at UC Santa Barbara?
Okay.
It's clear you have a lot of talent. So where would you want to apply that talent?
It's a great question. So before we got into the college application process, I would say my dream job would to be like a scientific illustrator, so I could combine both aspects of what I enjoy the most. So I'm still looking into like how to combine science and art as I'm studying at UCSB.
Thank you.
So Lucy, I also looked at your website and I thought it was really interesting. I have to tell you that I actually, a long time ago, I worked at a movie studio. So I was really impressed by your animation. It is like, I think you could show it to, your portfolio, your particle effects are some of the things that people would send in who were applying for, I mean, in the movie studio, right, you start at the bottom and work your way up. That's just kind of what it is, but that's the kind of work that they would send in. And I'm curious about your catatonic, which is their cat. I'm curious about how you chose the design elements for catatonic. How did you decide which layers to put in your cat? And I'm also intrigued by the wheels.
Oh, okay, that's a fun question to answer. And so for a little bit of context, we were working on a world building project. You might have read a little bit about that on my website. And so basically I had a partner and we wrote a story, kind of like a narrative about, we had a human character and a feline character who was like a warrior. So it was very fictional. So I based the cat shape on our feline character, who is sort of like a antagonist protagonist at once. And the bicycle wheels were actually a dedication to my stepfather, who's right over there. So I figured that since he loves cats and riding bicycles, I would like eventually give it to him as a gift. And the layers part was really tricky. I had to draw it out a couple of times and then digitize it, like from my mind then to a computer, but it turned out well. So it was a good learning process for me.
It's really beautiful and
Yeah,
really,
come see the
and,
real thing.
and it's also like all the different layers are really intricate. So I like the video showing all the different layers.
Thank you so much for your comment.
I just say, wow. I mean, it's just that it's amazing the work that I mean, my master's degree is in computer science, and I think that you in the high school level are doing as much or more than things we were doing in college back then. So amazing, and good luck to you in your next phase.
Thank you very much.
And you really tugged at my heartstrings when you said scientific illustration. I think that is a terrific field, and I think you have the talent to do wonderful things in it. And it will help students see the ideas behind the written words on the page.
So the great thing is she's got an incredible scientific mind too. So she can combine all that together. Boy, we need people like you to make
Absolutely.
those complex ideas, you know, animated and clear. Because it can be hard to understand.
You're the future of education.
Thank you.
Okay, you have family with you. Please join us up here. Board members?
Yeah.
You and your family, from the TV.
Invitation too. Yeah, you guys have kids too. You can, Karen, you can go by her, and then we'll go on the side, yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Congratulations.
Our exhibition, by the way, is right there.
Beautiful. We look forward to it, Leo. Okay, we have reached the point in the meeting where we have our superintendent's report.
All right, well, it has been such a busy time and so many things have been discussed tonight and there's so many celebrations to be had. I wisely will have a very brief report this evening, but I look forward to all of the events that were mentioned. To start out, let's see. Okay. Well, I guess I could talk about the freestyle building, which is gorgeous and right out our window. And we look forward to housing more Lucy's in the future. So to start out, we're having a lot of fun and being creative and learning at the same time, as was addressed in the quote Lucy had on her website. Here you can see some students at the Battle of the Classes at Mountain View High. And going forward, I don't think it's working. I think it's not working. Oh, well, we're continuing to focus on our overarching goals of academic excellence, equity, and engagement for all. And the athletic events, we're really seeing a lot of success this year and continuing to see that in our arts as well. So here you can see our Los Altos Choir receiving second place at Music in the Parks at the festival at Great America. And on the right, a lot of campuses no longer have gymnastics as one of their sporting events, but we are very fortunate that we do. And you can see here, we have a strong gymnastics team. And oops, there we go. I wanted to, let me make sure. Okay, there we go. I wanted to also share that Middle College in their work with Foothill are expanding some of the spaces that they are using. And they are not only using the Krause Center for Innovation for their classrooms and continuing that, but Foothill has also graciously opened up new spaces for them. So they have somewhat of a student center like area where they have, you can see ping pong, places to sit down and talk. And they're unpacking here in the bottom left and really having places where they can get together and work on projects. So we're happy to see that with the expansion of Middle College that we had last year. We're expanding facilities as well. Also wanted to show with our Battle of the Classes on the left, just a real fun time for all of the community to come together. And then also the Orgullo Latino Folklorico, which we had Saturday night at Mountain View High School, and really an extension of all of the work that our dance team does, as well as our Folklorico club. Wanted to also share that at Alta Vista High School, they went down to San Diego to receive recognition for not only being a model continuation high school, but for their efforts to continue to improve and grow at Alta Vista. And in the upper left-hand corner, you can see there Alba Garza, and she was the recipient of the continuation school counselor support person of the year for our entire region, which spans multiple counties. So she received that award, which we're very proud of. And on the right, you can see our students who graduate throughout the year and are able to start their careers and start their futures with that high school diploma. We're graduating more and more as the weeks go on. And then in the bottom left, one of my favorite pictures is the picture of the Alta Vista team on the Midway. And they met with all of the continuation schools throughout the state and had a presentation and received honors. Also wanted to share, which Catherine Vonnegut mentioned in her remarks, that our former board member Fiona Walter was the recipient of the Athena Award, which is an honor given to Mountain View High School, excuse me, I'm sorry, I said high school, Mountain View City, to a female who, like Athena, lights the way and is a strong leader. And so here you can see she's celebrating, and our team was there as well. And I think we missed Ms. Benson in the photo, but we have Esme and Theta were also in attendance. And it was just a wonderful evening recognizing local leaders and a leader that we're very proud of. Also wanted to share that as part of our interaction and partnership with our cities, Los Altos and Los Altos Hills State of the Cities address occurred at the Fremont Country Club. And here you have the Chamber of Commerce Executive Director on the left, Kim Mosley, who gave remarks, and she is also a member of our Family Partnership Committee. And we heard from Anna Eshu. We also heard from Joe Simidian, Supervisor Simidian, as well as Senator Becker, and then also enjoyed a table with Los Altos School District. And this is just something that I enjoy doing and was able to do. Julie Vo on the left and her team on the right also run a preschool in addition to their adult school. So they have a group of 4- and 5-year-olds who are very interested in the Hungry Caterpillar, and I can attest to that. And they were just lovely. I encourage anyone interested to visit. If you really want to have an uplifting moment in your day, you can bring any book you would like. And Julie runs a spectacular program. Thank you to Tammy, who coordinated as well. And I have the WASC accrediting box up there in the upper right, because the adult education program was the recipient of a 6-year accreditation, the highest awarded. And so they are fully accredited for that entire 6 years, thanks to the hard work of that team. Also wanted to share that we had our April magazine go out, and the theme was student leadership. And so our student leaders are doing so many things on our campuses, whether it's ASB or whether it's the advisory or whether it's the green team. Also coordinating within our special education classes, our leaders there. We are very fortunate and with such a very talented student populace. And then, in addition to our talented students, I mentioned this in the last superintendent update, that we are having our retirement reception Monday, May 15th, 4 to 6 at Michael's. We may have a few more names on there. Those names there represent many years of collective dedication to the students of Mountain View Los Altos, and a lot of wonderful programs that will sustain long past their fun retirement, hopefully onto a beach, or maybe we'll see them around here coming back when they wish to. And then finally, I wanted to just share important dates. Our next board meeting, Monday, May 22nd, will start off with a 4 p.m. study session on ethnic studies. Then we will have our regularly scheduled board meeting, and then we'll have a meeting on the 5th, and then our end of year meeting on the 9th. And then you can see here we have our graduation schedule, which is coming sooner than later. And I just wanted to comment, I love that at Mountain View we have the paws, but now I know that we at Los Altos have the hoofs. And so we have the Spartan's paws and the Eagle's hoofs, and all of those creative ways of helping us through the AP schedules and our final schedules, because animals in nature really do help us connect and ground ourselves. And that concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any questions for Dr. Myers? Okay, in that case, we'll move on. So we are now up to the communications from district organizations. I don't see any representatives here, so there will be none. And finally, we are up to public comment on items not on the agenda. As is noted in the agenda, the board does not engage in a back and forth on these, but may ask clarifying questions. Our first comment is from Paul. Is that Candell? Candell. Thank you.
Thanks for having me here. My name is Paul Candell. I'm a resident of Mountain View for 17 years, a high school journalism teacher in the Bay Area for 27 years, a former national high school journalism teacher of the year. Tonight, I'm here representing the Journalism Education Association of Northern California. Today, the Pulitzer Prizes were announced, the pinnacle of professional journalism, a time to celebrate, not necessarily in Mountain View in the district. That's because of what's happening at the longstanding award-winning journalism program at Mountain View High School, as detailed in today's article in the Talon from the other outstanding journalism program in your district. Is it true that the Mountain View administration is replacing an experienced tenured advisor from the Oracle with an untenured teacher with no experience in journalism? If so, this is not a recipe for empowering student journalists. It's a recipe for control, and it's a dangerous position to put an untenured teacher in. Is it true that the current advisor is being reassigned because she does not have a CTE credential, but without a discussion or assistance for her attempts to get one? Is it true that students signed up for the introductory journalism course for next year were told to find a new elective? This sounds a little like someone is trying to kill your journalism program and to exercise control over it until it dies. And why? Because the principal was unhappy that student journalists working in concert with the Student Press Law Center documented a series of incidents of sexual harassment, because they exposed a Me Too problem that should not be swept under the rug, because the principal who says she supports the press is essential to democracy also pressures students to write stories that are uplifting. Whether or not the actions impacting the journalism program was the principal's motivation, her behavior during the production of the article and the timing of this reassignment sends a clear and dangerous message to student journalists. California's Journalism Teacher Protection Act, otherwise known as Section G of California Ed Code 48907, says an employee shall not be dismissed, suspended, disciplined, reassigned, transferred, or otherwise retaliated against solely for acting to protect a pupil engaged in the conduct authorized under the section or refusing to infringe upon constitutionally protected First Amendment expression. Is a solvable bureaucratic concern being used to oust a popular, effective advisor in exchange for someone the principal can control? And that your proud independent journalism program is being destroyed? That program is precious. Please check in on the Oracle and do all that you can to make sure that the advisor and her program are being supported. Don't kill the messenger. Save your journalism program. A lot of people are watching now. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next speaker, Michael Mole. Michael.
Hey everyone, I'm Michael Mole. I'd like to share a reflection from my perspective as journalism advisor at Los Altos, having had the pleasure of working with our principal, Wynn Satterwhite, these past 16 years. Wynn and I haven't always agreed. Talon hasn't always made Wynn's job easier. During each of these moments of friction with Wynn, I've consistently felt respected and I've consistently felt heard. Whenever there's been a problem, Wynn has come to me with a clear explanation of the issue and a desire to work together towards a solution. In other words, I've always felt we were on the same team. That's the MVLA way. My sincere hope is that the journalism advisor at Mountain View is being treated that same way. I'd be thrilled to help in any way I can.
Thank you. And our next speaker, I believe, is that Olson, Hannah Olson.
I want to thank Mr. Moole and Mr. Kendall for being here and for speaking. I'm a writer for the Oracle, and this is my second year in the Mountain View High School journalism program. And I think that your speeches were incredibly moving and powerful in reference to the importance of student journalism. We want to highlight on behalf of the Oracle just some of our concerns about the replacement of our advisor. We are a little bit concerned about the fact that the new advisor is untenured at Mountain View. He does not have experience as a journalism advisor, which is something that we really value for our publication. He also has his hands full with the whole, he's the head of the theater program drama program at Mountain View. And we understand that he has some experience working for a publication. He was a writer for the Oracle, but we still think that it's really short notice to be told that our advisor is going to be changed this is just a really significant disruption to the Oracle because we're having to consider what's going to happen next year. I'm going to be an EIC next year along with my two co-EICs, editor-in-chiefs. And we have to, plan how we're going to run the publication next year, how we're going to adjust to these changes. And it's all just in very short notice. So that's one of our main concerns. And yeah, we would just really appreciate some consultation with our publication. Student voice is so important. And we do worry about the long-term effects of not having an introduction to journalism class, because one of the recent changes is that publication design is going to be the new replacement for students who sign up for intro to journalism. And we don't know how this is going to impact our program if students are not able to get the same introduction to journalism education they would have gotten before. And students who signed up for that are only now being notified that their class has changed. So that is another concern for us. And again, we just really want to emphasize how our purpose as a publication is to tell the truth and share stories that matters to the community. So yeah, that's what I wanted to say on behalf of the Oracle. And thank you all for listening.
Thank you. Okay, any other speakers? That looks like it then. Thank you all. Back there. And we are up to item 16, which I believe is our consolidated motion.
Bill, I would like to pull 16.19.
16.19. Duly noted, Catherine. Do I have a motion regarding the rest of the items?
Motion.
Okay, so moved by Peter that we approve the consolidated motion with the exception of item 16.19, which has been pulled by Catherine. Do I have a second for that motion?
Second.
Seconded by Catherine. Sadie?
I agree.
Ava? Good. Board members, please raise your hands to signify your approval. Motion carries 4-0. Okay, Catherine.
Well, our board goals were sent out, and I've said this before, but I think that they're supposed to be global, and that means the over umbrella statement rather than a specific example. And that's why for the second goal, cultivating a respectful and caring school climate that promotes wellness, develops life skills, and is, I don't like saying freeing of bullying, although bullying is an issue at our school. However, so is awareness and possible threat of fentanyl, so is treatment of LGBT people, so not counting bullying, so is suicide ideation or prevention. So I don't like having a specific example listed there. I think that inclusive and safe means for everyone, and that would be people are safe from bullying, people are included if they're LGBT, education on all these topics for all of our students, not just an example with the one example.
Okay, thank you, Catherine. Theta, did you want to speak to this?
Basically, I agree with Catherine, but it is not a hill that I'm willing to die on. I know that we have worked on these goals for a long time. I have actually specifically told Nellie that I don't like it, but I'm willing to compromise on it.
Okay.
I'm in agreement with Catherine and Theta, and I think that when I think of inclusivity and safety, we're talking about emotional safety, physical safety, and so I think it is much more comprehensive and prefer the inclusive and safe.
Okay, I wouldn't mind getting rid of the free of bullying and saying inclusive. I'm troubled by safe because of what you just said, talking about emotionally safe. I don't want us to be a place where we're afraid to discuss ideas respectfully and with care because somebody might be offended. Students, like adults, have to learn to be able to talk about difficult topics without getting so emotionally involved that they take it personally or cast it personally. Ad hominem attacks are not acceptable. Ideas are subject to criticism. That's the core of a liberal arts education. So we have to create an atmosphere where people are not afraid to contradict someone else's statement, so long as they do it respectfully and with thought. So I'm worried about that word safe, because otherwise I think safety is obviously a big concern of ours. What's wellness about? I mean, it comes under the umbrella concept.
Yeah, I think wellness includes different kinds of safety. So
Yes,
I could go with that, Phil, that we just say and is inclusive.
that's okay with me.
How does everyone else feel about that?
I think what I have an issue with is I agree with you, Phil, on the discussion of ideas. But unfortunately, I have heard from students who do not currently feel emotionally safe. By which, I mean, bullying is part of it, self-esteem is part of it, suicidal ideation is part of it. And so I would like to include a word that encompasses that feeling. I'm okay with another word, but I think it's important to acknowledge that we are still working on mental health in particular, but I think kind of the first tier of mental health is to feel this emotional safety, this emotional security, to feel comfortable in your own skin. I think as adults, I hope that we have grown enough. You know, you and I may disagree, and I don't take it, you know, I don't run away and feel that it's an attack on me. But I think as students, as teens, they're still learning and growing in their own identity. And I think it's important that I think there's a fine balance between allowing and so I think that's different than the exchange of ideas, which I think is very important. But I also think that this needs to be a place where students come and they feel safe to be themselves. And that is not something I think necessarily that grown-ups, I hope, need in their environment, because I hope they're have developed their identity enough. But I think at this age, where we're dealing with teens, and I know for myself, speaking as a teen, I was confused about my own identity. So I take this as a personal issue.
What if we did something like promotes physical and mental wellness or something like that? And that would cover, promoting wellness is different than saying safe in a different way, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Maybe something like
okay
that would
with-
work.
I'm okay with promoting wellness. I mean, I have to disagree with you, Theta. I think it's time in high school. You're an adult at age 18. When those kids walk out our graduation door, most of them are going to be adults. If we don't make them able to withstand discussions of ideas, then we are failing them.
Please.
Oh, sorry, so the student perspective, kind of what I'm hearing is, I mean, all of your ideas, but you're basically saying the same thing. We want students to feel comfortable going to school, we want them to be comfortable getting involved in conversations, and in conversations that they might disagree with, and that's okay, and that's good, because that's what we learn. But I think promoting wellness, I think, kind of is a concept that kind of encompasses everything that we want. But I think that the inclusivity and safety part, I don't hear that as, let's not have people go out of their comfort zone. I see that as, let's make people feel safe enough to go out of their comfort zone.
Good point.
So I feel including it, adding the inclusivity and the safety nets to it isn't talking about we're gonna like make sure that we're protecting our student feelings overall well. But I think the inclusivity and safety part is about like inviting people to have these conversations, whether they're gonna be comfortable or not. So I really think actually including the inclusivity and the safety part kind of encompasses having a conversation. So I would really like to keep it.
I also think that I'm actually not talking about ideas, which are, intellectual, but I'm talking about identity issues, which, as Sadie said, do take students out of their comfort zones. And I would like students, especially as we're talking about ethnic studies, to have discussions where they feel comfortable discussing their identities that maybe takes them out of their comfort zones. We had a student who very powerfully said, "I now love myself." And I think some students come to high school and that's not how they feel about themselves. And I would like to promote a school environment where students, with the help of our excellent teachers and staff, and our teacher of the year gave a very moving and empowering speech about empowering her own students, and talked about her own student who is now student of the year, who started out as a very, I don't know the word she used. She used a much better word than I'm going to use, but a student who was not a student who was a leader, but she said, "You're going to be a leader." And I think, but she provided her with, maybe safety isn't the right word, but she provided her with the safety, maybe compassion is the right word, but she provided her with what she needed to get out of her comfort zone and become a student leader.
I like Sadie's word. I think makes students feel safe enough to come out of their comfort zone, captures the essence of what's going on here. So my change would be keep it as it is, up to develops life skills, is inclusive, and makes students feel safe enough to come out of their comfort zone.
I agree with that concept. I just don't know if that's too wordy or
Well,
something like a goal,
You know,
a top level goal.
Yeah.
so here's the
Because
point.
that's what we mean, but is
Well,
that too wordy?
let's say what we mean. It's only a few lines of words anyway. Print is cheap, ink is cheap. Let's splurge. So I move we make the change that Sadie proposed.
Okay, we just to read that, it would be cultivating a respectful and caring school climate that promotes wellness, develops life skills, and is inclusive and encourages conversation. I think maybe if we add something about that isn't safe enough just to do this, but kind of talks about like encouraging it as a process. Again, I'm very bad at wording these things, so I would love your guys' input, but I do think that adding something like that would be helpful.
Are you suggesting something like develops life skills, is inclusive, and something to the effect of a safe place where they can express themselves, or a safe place
For expression.
for something to,
I'm good with anything else.
No, I still like the idea of coming out of the comfort zone. I think that is the key thing here.
We could do something about encouraging students to like try new things. That's kind of basic, but like encouraging students to,
encourage self-expression.
encourage self-expression. Like that.
That's okay.
I too am looking for a little,
Yeah.
but it's a style thing. I think we're all saying the same thing.
Okay, do you want
Maybe
to?
I need to read back.
maybe another word that comes to mind maybe is community. Is community driven or community oriented? Because I think that's what you're talking about.
No, I don't think so. This could be an individual standing apart from the community. It could be
Okay.
Thoreau marching to his own drummer.
So I'll
Okay.
attempt to read. Cultivating a respectful and caring school climate that promotes wellness, develops life skills, is inclusive, and actually develops life skills. How about it's inclusive, develops life skills and self-expression.
Well, I'd still like to have inclusive.
It was in
there. It was, she just moved
cultivating,
it.
I'm trying to reorder them. Cultivating a respectful and caring climate that promotes wellness, promotes inclusion, develops life skills and self-expression.
Yes, I like that.
Thank you.
Thank you,
I'm
Sadie.
I'm okay with that.
Okay,
Yes.
go with that.
Okay, luckily-
Finally. Thank
Thank
you so
you.
much.
So we're going to need a motion and.
I move that we,
Could you like, we put it up on, because I'm a visual person. Do you think we could, is there any way we can have it so we can read it?
I can read it if you can type it.
So I'd like to like see it on the
Mhm.
screen so I understand exactly what I'm voting on. Not the other ones, because you already agreed on it.
So Debbie, could you, oh, Stevie, you don't have the Zoom link. Is there some way to put the closed captioning on the screen?
Yeah.
Mike?
Yep.
Great. Okay. Ellie, do you want to read it?
Yes, I'm writing it. Excuse me. Cultivating a respectful and caring school climate that promotes wellness, promotes inclusion, and self-expression.
oh, you forgot, and develops life skills.
Cultivating a respectful and
I did.
caring school climate that promotes wellness and inclusion and develops life skills and expression.
And self-expression. I had left out life skills. We want life skills?
Yeah, we do.
Yes, so could you read it? I'm sorry, I just would like to see it. So,
Um,
yeah.
So maybe, Sadie, you have it written down the way we want it.
Yeah,
Very good.
one second here.
Okay.
I have it here.
All right, cultivating a respectful and caring school climate that promotes wellness and inclusion and develops life skills and self-expression.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you, Stevie.
Could you speak into the microphone because it didn't capture all of it?
Sorry, cultivating a respectful and caring school climate that promotes wellness and inclusion and develops life skills and self-expression.
Oh, it didn't actually show up.
We have it transcribed. If we can share a screen.
Yeah,
Just
okay.
a second.
My mic was also off, so.
I read the transcription and you said it perfectly.
Okay,
No, that's
promotes
not quite right.
inclusion shouldn't be in the middle there.
Right, I think.
That's the develops life skills.
Right, that's where it develops life skills.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So we
promote
left out the develop life
inclusion,
skills.
please delete. And change it to develops life skills.
And self-expression.
Yeah, that is a life skill. You could say including self-expression.
Well, I think we can make this a little neater now. Promotes wellness, inclusion and self-expression and develops life skills.
Sounds good.
I like it better this way, frankly.
Okay, I'm not going to fight over
The
it.
way it already, the way Sadie already said it.
My English teacher would not be happy with that sentence. There are 3 answers.
A lot of ands.
Yeah.
You could take out the first and, a respectful, caring school climate. Take that and out. That promotes wellness, or wellness and
Because it promotes
inclusion.
wellness and inclusion, and then it develops life skills and expression. So it's like 2.
So I think you get rid of the comma if
You
the
get
life
rid of the
skills.
comma, yeah.
Mhm.
That doesn't, because the develops is,
No, no,
Part of self-expression.
after-life skills, get rid of the comma.
we're in agreement.
I think
That's
this is
it.
good.
Okay, let's go with that.
Okay,
All right, I move that we approve the board goals for 23, 24, or 20 to 28. As bullet 2 was edited during the discussion and is presented on screen.
I second.
Okay, moved and seconded that we accept Sadie's wording of the board goal and with all the other board goals. Sadie,
I approve.
naturally. Board members indicate your approval by raising your hand. Motion carries 4-0. Thank you, Sadie. Okay, that takes care of the consolidated motion. This moves us to. Oh, lots of consolidated motions.
First reading, graduate profile.
The graduate profile. Who's handling it?
I shall.
Excellent.
Okay. All right, waiting for the,
Yeah, we just have a switch.
okay. While we're waiting, I will share that Ava will be recognized as the champion for youth at the Challenge Team Breakfast this Thursday. And so I know some of you will be in attendance, but we will take pictures for those who cannot attend. But we're very excited to recognize her. And I meant to say that while she was here, but she will definitely be recognized on Thursday.
Oh, that's great. Good to hear.
All right, this is the first reading of the graduate profile, and I wanted to share a little bit of some of the work that we have been doing behind the scenes. This has come to you in the form of an update within my superintendent's report. And for those of you also who attend the Family Partnership Council and other meetings, we have shared some of this information. All right. There we go. So briefly, as shared in the past, the graduate profile shares what we have as a collective goal for our students and what we will support them as they work towards graduation, and some of the things that we prioritize as important skills in that life skills arena. It is meant to complement our academics. So these qualities are things that help students in career, college, university, future. And it is something that we put together with input from local stakeholders. We've shared in student groups, in staff groups, and they include different personal, cognitive, and interpersonal competencies. So the purpose of the graduate profile is to address the fact that when we do speak to employers, sometimes we hear very clearly that yes, your students may be able to do these discrete academic skills well, but there's really more to that in the workplace. And so our goal is to help develop those other muscles, so to speak. And there are certainly research studies out there that support this. But basically it is years of collection, discussion with not only Gallup polls, but others and employers to talk to them about what they're seeing, what they need to see, and what will really help our students become successful in the workplace and beyond. Some of this data that you can see here just speaks to that, the gap. Some also speaks to some students who increasingly, they do make it to where they want to go, but they have to take remedial courses because there were other skills that they missed along the way. So these are considered really the joints, if you will, the glue, the bridge, the way to help them access the knowledge that they need, as well as have these interpersonal skills. Okay. So the process that we used is as follows. We've spent the last year, a little over a year really, to talk to different people about what the skills may be. And frankly, this is the first reading because it is still in development. It's very close to the end, but we did have some final comments that we received last week. at our forum with students that had some additions that we want to make sure that we acknowledge and include. So we convened community input opportunities in a variety of places. Then we gathered the feedback. We gathered it through survey, through direct conversations, through thought exchange, through different meetings, through small groups, large groups, etc. And then also we are now at the point where we're working to finalize the graduate profile and presenting it currently now to the Board of Trustees. But we hope to bring back with your input a final draft, something that is just with our Freestyle Student of the Year. Something we're very proud of is the graphic that was created by a Freestyle student that really took it far beyond what I believe, at least those that I was working with, saw as a vision and really conceptualized it beautifully. And then the final approval and adoption, once the traits are finalized, the end deliverable gets incorporated into the district plans and serves as a companion, as a public-facing document, but also, as mentioned, a complement to our academic goals. So I mentioned this a little bit before, the family partnership, administrative teams, the superintendent's advisory council with students leading this conversation at tables last week. We put it in the newsletter. We've asked parents for comments, different staff, cabinet meetings, and board meeting feedback. And when we've gone and asked for feedback, 3 questions that we've focused on. What are the most important cognitive capacities that should underpin your students' learning across their classes and through their school experience? Which personal competencies are valued most at home and at school? And which interpersonal competencies are the most essential for collaboration and community in your school spaces? And we gathered a lot of data and a lot of feedback on this. And one of the most recent comments that we heard loud and clear at our last conversation, and I'll show you more explicitly when we look at the graphic, but there was a desire for more explicit conversation about wellness or mental health. The concept being that we definitely invest a lot of time with our multi-tiered systems of support, our counseling model, etc. And that resilience might not have been a large enough umbrella to capture that. So that was something that we gathered from our student conversations. So the implementation is to certainly create system alignment, to operationalize our profile, to look at measurements that align with the graphics, to provide educators and staff with a third point for ongoing professional development and conversation, just a way to reference, are we hitting all of these? Are we missing anything? And then also just to bring it to life across the community as something that we focus on and aspire to for all. And then certainly we want to make sure that it aligns and complements with our WASC goals. And our WASC teams have created something that's very similar. They also have an infographic that is helpful. But here you can see the WASC goals that were taken into consideration that hit these same kind of, I don't want to call them soft skills because I don't think they're soft or easy, but they are the important critical gap skills that are more nuanced and oftentimes harder to measure. And then also you can see here accountability, independent thinking, academic skills, and social emotional, equity, wellness, data, facilities, and technology. Some of these are more operational. And then communication systems, again, operational, narrow opportunity and expectation gap as a goal, student wellness, staff teams, and data once again. So here you can see, this is the document that we shared with our family partnership committee. And then our students facilitated conversations around these goals. And thank you. I think you did an amazing job. Really gave strong opinions and comments that were very valuable to making the document stronger. Overall, we had feedback at our table. One of the students said that, you know, because we have certain classes that all students take, whether it's health or ethnic studies or certain courses that are guaranteed, certain English courses, that it would be best to promote this document within one of the courses that all students are required to take. So his suggestion was to make it more accessible and to make it more visible. And overall, just very strong support of these particular goals, and a lot of conversation about the importance, at our table at least, about building and maintaining diverse collaborative relationships. That really had a bulk of time at our table. I think we've spoken a lot in the past about thinking critically, and it's important and we want it there, but I think we've really talked about it so people are aware of what that means. The same for conceptual understanding, as opposed to really skimming the surface or having a wide, you know, going deeper rather than wider. And then our table also discussed resilience and how embracing challenges is important, but also how do you develop self-advocacy and own your own mental health. And then as far as ethically and empathetically contributing, I think that there's more work to be done in having conversations around that, but generally that goal from the feedback we received was something that was embraced. And frankly, there was a desire for more of that integrated within their coursework. So this is the first reading, and I wanted to give you a snapshot of where our work has taken us, and to let you see, we did, since I've last shown this to you, highlight the MVLA graduates will create unique pathways toward success because of how it was just visually represented. It's still a little harder because it's smaller to read, but the goal is that all students will have unique pathways towards their success, and these arrows point to the skills that will help them get there. So very special thanks to Amelia for working on this, and we have resources that we've used to support the work along the way. And that concludes my first reading.
Great, thank you. And yeah, that graphic is terrific. We commented on that last time. Yeah, the center does need a little more contrast to read the words.
It does. Yeah.
Very good. Any board member comments?
I have a couple of questions. I guess this, you mentioned that there were comments about wellness. And I think for any body that has deals with adversity, I think it's important to develop that self-advocacy skill. And I don't see that up there. And I think it's actually one of the skills that is very important to develop in life. A lot of our students of the month really demonstrate that self-advocacy skill. And again, I think it's an important part of wellness to recognize that I need help, and I need to advocate for myself, and I need to seek that help. And I think that's a little bit different than building resilience, because I think building resilience is how you respond to something that happens to you, but self-advocacy is what you do about it. So I know it's fairly far down the process, and I'm not sure how I don't have a brilliant idea of how to fit it in, but I think I know that, I was a director at Tech. And, I've actually spent quite a bit of time, with, engineers who did not know how to self-advocate and were frustrated because they couldn't get their projects done. And I think it's a soft skill because it does involve collaboration as well. You can't just say, I want this, and it has to be done in a way that's collaborative. So I think perhaps it could fit into either build resilience or build and maintain for collaborative relationships. But I think I also hear horror stories, and I'm not saying these are MVLA students, but I hear horror stories of students who go to college and they cannot do their own laundry and they cannot do basic life skills. And I would hate to have a student graduate from our school that does not have basic life skills. And that's part of self-advocacy and learning how to take care of yourself.
Thank you for that feedback. In our conversation, we did speak about it possibly being in one of the bottom 2 quadrants, or there's 5, it's not quad. Build resilience, learn, self-advocacy and embrace challenges, or something to that effect. Because your point is well taken, that the thought is resilience is something happens to you and you bounce back. Self-advocacy or advocacy is helping change it so it doesn't happen again. So we're definitely hearing that feedback.
Our group, oh no, it's on. Our group, several of the students pointed out that they understood some of the 5 groups better than others, but that they didn't always know what conceptual understanding was. They knew what deep, I don't know, but what does it mean to understand something conceptually compared to what other way? Things like algebra, you can do it, but do you understand it conceptually? Why it's that way or anything like that? But then in other subjects, like reading a book, your understanding of what the characters or the writing style, or what does conceptually mean?
And part of this
students wanted to know.
Right. Part of this will give us an opportunity to use it as a teaching tool. So some may not, necessarily have examples of how to ethically and empathetically contribute, but that would be where you could use this as the beginning of that conversation, or the beginning of a conversation about abstract concepts as opposed to rote memorization.
Okay, any further comments? Katie, did you have anything to add to that?
No, I think I agree with everything that was said. Yeah.
Great.
I do have one other comment, is that it makes me feel even more confident to know that that we went through a process for one, and that we use these different resources that are all well thought of and so on. So it's not like we just stood up one day and said, oh, we think out of the blue sky, we're going to create a graduate profile. Other people have done it. We have examples, we have resources that we looked at as part of our process too. So that was good. And I think it dovetails nicely with our new goals.
I was just going to say the same. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
And now we are up to item 18.2, school plans for student achievement.
I can certainly share. Annually, we bring our school plans for student achievement to the board, and we wanted to put these on business to highlight this document, and you will find within it an analysis of the work that has happened via academic and social attendance, et cetera, data. You will see school site goals as well as resources that are allocated, and this is the plan that helps guide the work that in this particular case, Alta Vista Continuation High School is doing this year. And at our next board meeting, we will bring forward the site plans from, oh, they're all on there now. Okay,
they're all-
thank you. Okay, they were there. Okay, I heard earlier they weren't there, so I'm glad they're all there. So you'll see also the same plans for Mountain View High School and Los Altos High School. So while we do not have a presentation, we wanted to just point and you in this direction and shine a light on the great work that has been happening. This process, as far as the approval, goes through a school site committee, and it includes parents and students and staff, and they review it annually and make changes as appropriate. So we are recommending approval.
Okay.
I would like to say a couple things about them. Is one, they're 50 some to 60 some pages long each, but they nicely follow a template basically, so
Mhm.
that they're similar in layout and so on. And they have, of course, the different data because the different schools have different answers to those data questions. But it's nice that there's something that you can update every year rather than, again, creating from something totally out of the blue from scratch. And then we get used to, or you guys will get used to it, reading the plan each year and seeing and comparing it in your own mind. And I did not read every word of every one, but I skimmed them. But it's a lot of, and I want to recognize the amount of work it takes to update all those data charts and then analyze them to go ahead and do this. And like I said, and like you said, but it says here in the summary that these connect with the LCAP and the WASPs, et cetera. So that's one thing we're trying to do around here is align things so that WASC and LCAP and these plans and our goals and each of the schools' goals and everything match up and are consistent. So I'm glad to see us working in that direction.
Okay, thank you, Catherine. Peter?
I just wanted to say, I actually looked at an older plan that was on the website. And it had like a dashboard, I think that went from red to green. And I much prefer the new one for, because I can understand that a lot better. It allowed me to look at the data much better. So thank you for that change.
Okay, thank you, Peter. Any other comments? Is there a motion?
What's the motion? I move to approve the plan, the school plans for students' achievement for each of the three schools, Alta Vista, Mountain View, and Los Altos high schools.
Okay, thank you, Catherine. Is there a second? Seconded by Esmond. Okay, it's been moved and seconded whether we approve the student plans for the school plans for student achievement for Alta Vista, Mountain View, and Los Altos High School. Sadie?
I approve.
Sadie approves. Board members, please indicate approval by raising your hand or saying aye. Motion carries 4-0 with one absence. Thank you. Okay, board operations. I think the rest of the year is pretty well signed up, but there are board suggestions for future board reports. We'll start in next year with lots more. Okay. Item 19.2. Do we have any communications?
Yes, we do. First, I would like to share that our CSACE plan, our Comprehensive Support and Improvement Plan, was approved by the Department of Education. So thank you to Terry Fott and her team for the work on that. So there is correspondence regarding that.
Thank you.
And then secondly, we received the official accrediting commission for schools with for WASC for adult education to Julivo. And this is where we share once again that they have the 6-year accreditation status through June 30th, 2029. So
Very good. Julie, congratulations to you and to your team. That's a great accomplishment. Here it's official.
I want to point out that CSACE is another plan that dovetails in with our WASC and our this and that. We have a whole lot of letters for all these different ones, but they all work together, hopefully.
Okay. And no further communications or correspondence. So 19.3, the date, time, and place for our next meeting, as Nellie pointed out earlier, is Monday, May 22nd, here in the district office, starting with a study session at 4 o'clock. And I believe we do not have a closed session to resume, so that's out. We are up to item 22, adjourn meeting. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
I move to adjourn.
Moved by Catherine, seconded by Theda, that we adjourn. Sadie, thank you for your contributions and for hanging in there all night. How do you say?
I
Thank you. Board members, raise your hand to signify approval. Motion carries 4-0 with one absence. We are adjourned. Thank you all.
Talk fast to get out of here.
That was-